right, and we're back for another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our shows. And if you can, please give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, or do anything that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Game Source, the great folks at LakersBall.com. Be part of their live game time chat conversation at LakersBall.com. Plus the great folks at LakerHolics.com. Check out the great articles and podcasts today at LakerHolics.com. And also our good friends as well at the Hoop Has Podcast Network. And if you can support all that, it is sincerely appreciated. Well, we were wondering what kind of effect there would take place after LeBron's 56-point game. What would happen? Is anything going to be hurting heading into San Antonio for the first game on this road trip? And sure enough, the knee ain't feeling so good for LeBron James right now, as he's right now, from what reports are saying, is he's experiencing considerable soreness on his knee. So he sat out tonight's game against the San Antonio Spurs. He may be back at the earliest for the Wednesday game, but that's kind of iffy against Houston. So we'll wait and see what that is like for LeBron. We'll keep giving you updates at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. But the game tonight, without LeBron and without AD, the Lakers went into San Antonio, and it looked like it was going to be just an easy game for San Antonio after the first quarter, as they were up by 9, and Lakers just didn't have any answers in that first quarter. But the second and third quarter, the Lakers offense started to really come into tune, and actually they got back in the game and were only down by 3 in the fourth quarter, but just could not get it done, whether it was fatigue or whether it was just not quite enough shooting. The outside shooting, three-point shooting, only 30% from the field. And the three-point, as far as from the free throw line, is 69%, just not getting it done. Russell Westbrook played, I guess, about as well as expected. Unfortunately, just not shooting very well again, but from both the field and the line. Malik Monk and Talen Horton-Tucker, even though they were game, unfortunately, they weren't game from the three-point line, as they both shot 2 for 12. They were pretty good inside the three-point line, but unfortunately, that just wasn't enough. And even a game by Carmelo Anthony where he chipped in with 17, but unfortunately, that was not enough for DeJounte Murray, who actually had a really good game with 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And the San Antonio Spurs defeat the Los Angeles Lakers 117-110. But here today to talk about the game, what went wrong, why it went so off without AD and LeBron, but why I'm still kind of optimistic because of the fact that they did play hard up until the latter half of the fourth quarter when it just started to slip away. Our two great guests indeed, who are also going to talk about HBO and HBO Max's Winning Time that debuted on Sunday night. I had a chance to see the first episode. These guys also had a chance to see the first episode as well. And if you get a chance, please go ahead and check out my recent podcast I did with the author behind Winning Time, where they got the book from. It is called Showtime. So you can go ahead and get it today at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It is Jeff Pearlman. He is the author that they based all this stuff that's going on in Winning Time. So hopefully you get a chance to check that out. But here today to talk about the game, first up, first man in, he is Ox 1947. He is still not a happy camper. It is Joe Soro. Joe, great to have you here. Again, I don't know how much you can fault what went on in today's game because, yes, poor shooting, but also as well just really how much are you expecting with LeBron and AD out of the lineup?
They weren't playing the Suns. They weren't playing Miami. They weren't playing the Milwaukee Bucks. They were playing out of the play-in San Antonio Spurs team. I'm still seeing the same thing every game. I mean, it is mind-boggling to me. I just want to know what they do when they're not playing. I want to know what preparation, what kind of advancements they're doing to their game, each and every player. What are they doing to improve? How can you go through 63 games and still look like you're playing in a preseason game. I know that LeBron is out and AD, but they're not playing well. They don't have any set offenses. They're not cutting to the basket. They're not doing any pick and rolls. And the Russell Westbrook missed 3 layups today. I think he might have missed more, but I remember 3.
And he left 6 points at the free throw line.
It is. I don't know. Okay, so when I'm watching the game and I'm on Game Time, and I'm cursing more than I usually do,
which is usually a lot, just at the original level. Just to let everybody know.
Yeah. Well, tonight I cursed a little more, but and I got it out of my system, so I didn't come on the show and want to curse here.
Okay,
I would, but
Well, so you and LakerTom.
I'm not. I don't. At some point, I want to talk about something different, and I'm racking my brain to try to figure out what else can I say that had. They're doing the same thing. It's just, is Frank trying to get fired? It looked like he was trying to get fired today. I mean, he didn't even bring in Dwight towards the end of the game. Melo was getting destroyed down low. Melo played about as good defense as I've actually ever seen him play. I felt bad for Melo. I felt bad for Melo because here's a guy in his late 30s who's going to be in the Hall of Fame, who's one of the best shooters, one of the best scorers of our generation. And he was the only guy other than Reeves in certain spots and maybe Monk in certain spots and ATHT in certain spots that really gave a crap.
Well, that's the thing. I think you just put it right there. In certain spots, but not doing it together.
They're not doing it together. They're not doing it together. They're not doing it consistently. They tie the game, and then San Antonio goes and scores 6 points in 43 seconds. And it's been like this all year. All year they play and play and play, and this is. I think I read something during the game that this is that they have literally played a month of basketball and have been behind double digits in every game. I don't even remember the tanking team doing that. I don't remember. They might have, but I don't remember the tanking team playing this bad. This is the most aggravating, most disappointing, most. I mean, I got a pit in my stomach, and it doesn't go away while they play because I already know what's going to happen because it's happened 62 times before tonight. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I should say 61 because I think the Celtics game is seriously the only game that I can remember where they played for 48 minutes. There is no system. They get into a half-court offense, they're toast. As much as I hate saying this, I know he's a local guy, but oh man, I don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't want to criticize anybody anymore.
Yeah,
I don't want to dog on anybody anymore. This team need this next.
Well, I will give a thumbs up to Alan. Thank you for the thumbs up on Facebook. So
yeah, this thing needs to go. This thing needs to just end, and we can go on with our lives. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm not gonna sit here and just crucify every player. I'm not, as much as I wanted to, go through the TV.
Joe, you look tired.
I am tired after a Laker game. I was doing great until I started watching the Lakers play tonight. And it's just aggravating. It's a game, and that's the other part that probably bothers me a little bit. The fact that I'm bothered so much by a freaking March game that really doesn't mean anything at this point. It's a disaster. It's a disaster, and we're gonna have to watch the remaining games, knowing it's gonna be a disaster. And then if they happen to stay a 9th or 10th seed, we're going to have to watch an even worse disaster. Either they're going to get destroyed by the Timberwolves, or if they end up in the 9th, we're going to get smoked by the Clippers in a pseudo playoff game, which is going to make this even worse.
Well, we'll see with health remaining. Hopefully that will allow AD and LeBron to come back, and maybe that there will be some semblance of this team when it comes to that time. But right now it's going to be a rough stretch, and I'm not sure if they're going to go ahead and allow LeBron James to play in Houston. Alan, once again, thank you for the thumbs up. He says Joe needs some Advil after that performance. Yes, he does. I do also want to mention we were on several new Facebook Laker groups, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that we are truly appreciative of being on these new Laker Facebook groups. Want to thank you so much. It is the Lakers Fast Break. We're on podcast outlets everywhere, so you can always catch us on your podcast outlet, plus also Facebook and YouTube. But also here today to talk about the game. You know, I'm always promoting, but I'm always thanking everyone else out there for going ahead and listening to us rant. I mean, report on the game.
I need a shotgun. I don't need a handgun.
but also here to talk about the game is a good man indeed. Please, everyone out there within the sound of my voice, check out his great articles today at Lakerholics.com. Be part of the conversation today at Lakerholics.com. It is my good friend, Mr. LakerTom. And LakerTom, again, to me, it was just about, okay, you're down AD, you're down LeBron. You guys got to go ahead and step it up. I mean, I give them credit for the effort. It's just
I thought they stepped up, you know. I mean,
but the problem is, it's just that the threes didn't fall. Russell has got to get those free throws falling. Those little things are just a little bit more, just a couple more free throws made and a couple more threes, and we would have won this game.
Yeah, you know, it's frustrating, and Russell really needed. The only way we could have won this game probably is if Russell had a terrific game, and unfortunately, Russell didn't have a terrific game. Missed free throws, missed layups.
And there's been a rumor, just want to make sure that everybody knows, there's been continual rumors about even more friction behind the scenes, right, even after the Saturday game in regards to Russell Westbrook and his role in the team going forward.
You know, Gerald, I just did an article about how the Lakers should experiment with Russ as sixth man. The idea being that
said that in
it's
December.
a lot easier to build. It's a lot easier to build an effective starting lineup with defense and shooting around two superstars than three. I mean, how do you surround three guys with two role players? That's the problem. So, difficult game for the Lakers.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, Joe wants to get the shotgun.
Look, man, when Tom gets choked up, now we have some problems, okay? Now there needs to be something done here.
Yes.
It's just not, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you got LakerTom choking up. You've got Joe Soro wanting to get a shotgun. It's really stressful
and again,
right now.
And I say I want to get a shotgun for myself. I would never hurt anybody. That's not trying to threaten my life. So it's.
And LakerTom is alive. I just want
again. That was the perfect response, Tom, to everything. You were going to go into one of your soliloquies that I really enjoy.
Hold on, Tom. I got you on mute. You're muted. You're muted, Tom. You're muted, just to let you know. He's saying all this stuff right now, and he's muted. So go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
Tom, I was saying that I was really I've had this cough, and I knew I was starting to cough, and I was just trying to get out of it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I was kind of happy with the game.
Well, the effort was there. The effort was there.
And you know, when we were down like 2 minutes and we'd come back and we were within two or three, considering the team we have, and this is the thing that jumped out at me about this whole thing, is without LeBron and AD, you really see what kind of roster we got.
Exactly.
I mean, these guys overachieved tonight. This game was closer than it should have been.
Non-playoff team, like Joe said.
They're not, though. They're playing the Spurs. This is not.
But still, listen, DeJounte Murray. You know, if we end up having to trade LeBron or AD, I hope somehow we can get somebody like DeJounte. He's a terrific player. But the Lakers, it really is the difference that you look at the roster, because we've got so much money tied up in Russ and LeBron and AD. And then the only guy that we're paying, other than Taylor Horton-Tucker, the only other player that we're paying more than the minimum is Kendrick Nunn, and we haven't even seen him hit the hardcore yet. So you got a bunch of guys out there, some of which are playing above their capabilities and above their salaries for sure. In Melo and in Monk, Reeves, I think, is terrific. they all had good games. We played well. We were lucky to be as close as we were, even though they're not the Heat or not the 76ers or not the Nets. They're not they're a team that's got some guys who can play.
And LakerTom, let me just say this: the Lakers could have easily done the Foldle act after the first quarter when they were down by 9. They easily could have done that, and they chose not to. They played hard in that second and third quarter. They were executing offensively. I just wish they were able to make those threes just even 35%. Had they, they even gotten to 35%, which is the league average thereabouts.
If our players if they played that well, Gerald, with AD and LeBron playing at top 5 level player, we're a championship team. But we probably don't have the consistency because these guys aren't going to play like that every game. No. And LeBron and AD both are dinged up and probably aren't going to play at bubble championship level.
So. I think I was watching a different game, and I think I almost thought I was on the Laker Nation show right now. You guys are so positive.
Well, I mean, and you know me, Joe. I'm usually not.
Yeah, you're usually positive.
Realistic.
Yeah,
but when I see the kind of effort.
But what's the use of getting negative at this point in time, Joe?
And again, I know we don't want to be redundant on every show, so I get it. I'm trying to fight it right now. I really am. I was trying to fight it. In the end, I hold them to different standards. These are professional basketball players. And the fact that I'm not seeing fundamental basketball, I need to scream it every game, it seems like, and I will. It's fundamentally.
Monk and Westbrook just couldn't get it done. Their offensive game just not effective. I mean, both were poor shooting again from each, and especially in Westbrook's case, everything is being magnified with what he's doing right now. Just make some more free throws.
How about make a layup?
Yeah, make some
layup when you're.
We have no offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go out to a hard court anywhere, or go to the gym on Saturday, and you've got guys that you've played with or a little bit about, you always have a plan. We know this guy can shoot. We know this guy can run a pick and roll. And you find something, and usually it's a pick and roll or something like that. And you just run it until
only
you
lost
win the
by
game.
7.
The Lakers don't do any of these things fundamentally. They don't find a play they can go to, and they don't go back to it. They don't even go back to lineups.
I got tired of watching the ball go through the hoop. Your whole life, you watch the ball to go through the hoop. This is the one year where I don't really watch the ball going in the hoop. I'm watching the offense. I'm watching. Actually, I'm sorry. I did watch the ball not go in the hoop when we played in Game 6. The Game 6 in the finals in 2020 was. I had my eyes fixated on AD. That was probably the first. That was I did it then. But as far as this year, I rarely watch the ball go in the hoop. I'm watching how everyone is moving, and 90% of the time they're not. They're not moving. There's no.
That ball is not moving on that offense.
It's not. The ball's not moving, and even when it is moving, even when they're sharing the ball. There's still a 1/3 of a second still too slow.
Still a lot of isolation.
Well, it doesn't matter if the ball is moving if the players aren't moving.
Yeah, what do you do,
passing the ball around the outside of the?
We've seen it.
Passing the ball.
It'll tail in all the way around the 3-point line, and I'm like, there's no separation. What made Cooper Kupp the MVP this year? Which I don't know how the heck he wasn't. Was his separation. His separation game was amazing, and that's what the Lakers need. There is no separation from anyone. No one seems to be able to do that. It's either they're running into somebody at the hole, or the guy's right on them at the 3. Because
everybody sags on us.
It is.
There's only 4 or 5 guys in the post.
I feel like, I honestly feel this way. I feel like there's a tape or a thumb drive that has passed around all of the other 29 teams and said, here, guys, if you do this, you will beat the Lakers 9 out of 10 times. Just do this.
Hey, what do you know? I got one right now. I've got it. I've got the thumb drive.
Mind you, I was going to say tape. You know, 'cause I'm so used to tape, right? Look at the tape.
Right now, they just share it onto their
Our
iPad.
millennials gonna be watching this and going, "What the hell's a tape? What the hell's the DVD?"
All
Mike
right.
Brown created his career off a DVD. What the hell's a DVD?
Well,
Thumb drive.
let's go ahead and finish this before we can talk about winning time, because that's something
Please. That's
a lot
what I want
better.
to talk about.
That's what I want to talk about as well. But before we get to winning time, everyone, I do want to make mention again, Lakerholics.com. Please go ahead and check out all the great articles from both Jamie Sweet and LakerTom today at Lakerholics.com. Plus also as well, you got Joe Soro, Ox 1947 at LakersBall.com. So go ahead and check out the conversation during game time at LakersBall.com. It is the Lakers Fast Break. We truly appreciate it. If you're a new viewer or someone that's new to us here, we truly appreciate you taking the time to watching or listening to us. But before we head over to talk about winning time, I want to go ahead again. Wednesday, I think they should just keep LeBron out, because it sounds like when I saw the word significant soreness in that knee, that tells me that there's some issues going on. I have a feeling he might try to push himself to try to go ahead and get back in the lineup, but I think maybe we should just at least sit out one more game.
Yeah,
I think it all comes down to LeBron, and from everything I hear, everything I hear and read, LeBron is not. LeBron and the team still are not throwing the towel in.
No, and I get that, but it's Houston.
There's no talk of sitting him. But what I think they're doing, though, is they realize that there's always that caveat that when you say as long as you got LeBron and AD healthy, you have a chance to win. Well, you also need them to be not just healthy, but not dinged up, not having, not worn down. And this is part of, I think we're going to see him play maybe 2 out of every 3 games or something like that. And because they're going to hope that their only hope is that if they can get LeBron rehabilitated to the extent where his knee isn't sore anymore and he's going into the playoffs pretty healthy, and AD comes back with a little bit of a rest, which we know he had in a bubble, which was a big help. And if in the meantime, the young players, which they're playing, and to a certain extent, the Monk and Reeves are playing extremely well. THT is struggling. Johnson is struggling a little bit. But they have an energy that's keeping us in some of these games. And the only way that we're going to have a chance, even the puncher's chance in the playoffs, is if these young kids are also going to be able to elevate themselves, because even a championship level LeBron James and Anthony Davis aren't going to win a championship with the roster that we've got right now. They need a better roster. They need, over the next 19, 18 games, they need these kids to really get better and better, the team to get some confidence. So, yeah, we take LeBron and we give him some time off. It's a team that we think we could beat. And I thought we had a chance to beat them. And I thought everybody came in and played pretty well, I can't complain about the effort the way that I could in some games. And, yeah, Joe, you can have an iron standard, but when you get into game 62 or 4 or 5, whatever this is, and you start to get realistic. I just would like to see the team finish on a positive note, which means playing well, which means figuring out how to get the most they can out of this roster, even though it's not a championship roster.
Old Yeller.
Yeah, could we win the play-in? End up with a 7 or 8.
Wait a minute. Most
could we get a nice matchup in the first round and win the first round and make the semifinals, and then maybe an upset and we make the finals?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Because the playoffs are all about matchups.
Yeah, we could end up getting Utah and the Warriors. That's great matches up for us.
How are we going to get the Warriors?
Well,
there's no way.
Well, the Warriors finish 2nd and we finish 7th.
We're going to have to play a Minnesota team or a Clippers team as of right now, if we end up at 9 or 10. And Minnesota has spanked us.
Well, we have to get to be number 8, because if you're at 9 and 10, you don't have any chance to get the 7th
but Minnesota, you got to remember, Joe.
You get the 8th seed, which means you're going to play. The best you can do is get the 8th seed. which means you're going to play the Suns,
Phoenix,
and that's not a good matchup.
But you
for
got to
us.
remember, Joe, when it comes to Minnesota, outside of Beverly, there's very little playoff experience there.
Right.
And it usually goes either one way or the other. Either the young guys just play well above their heads in those type of situations, or it really goes south. So,
That would really suck if we played Phoenix, because Phoenix is the only team other than the Celtics in the history of the Lakers that has whooped us in the
And
playoffs.
that's why we need to get to 7 and 8.
The
We need
Phoenix,
to get to 7. And
Phoenix
to do
is-
that, we need to beat the Clippers. We
Yeah.
need to catch the Clippers.
I would be as mediocre as this is to say, if they upset the Clippers in the play-in and then got whooped by the Suns, I would actually consider this a semi-reasonable year after what we've had to
There's a
endure.
certain satisfaction in the
Yeah,
Clippers
because
losing.
that would be poetic, all this. We are. What is their stupid logo? This is LA. What is it? What I don't even. I don't even.
we
wanna
are
say
LA.
it.
Well,
We
let's
are
do it a good
LA,
way.
really?
Gerald, why don't you give
We
us
are
the
LA.
section?
Okay. You were San Diego. You were Buffalo. You were Kansas. No, I'm sorry. That's Sacramento.
Yes.
But anyways,
San Diego.
Yes.
Diego.
Well, yeah. Sorry, my mistake. Kansas City Kings with a Sacramento. Never mind. Forget what I just said.
Yes.
The thing is, I don't. I have zero confidence in this team, and it's not going to go away. Watching the Golden State game, you needed a 56-point. You needed a 56-point performance by LeBron, and Golden State really coming down to earth at this point, because they were hoping that Klay Thompson was going to somewhat come back. We have discussed this. The more he plays, the more achy that leg is going to be. They should just play pool. Let Klay come off the bench. So that was all going on during that time. And also the Lakers just have, you said matchups. For some reason, they just match up very well against Steph Curry. They just do. Sometimes it's unexplainable. So after they won that game, I was happy that they won, but I was fully expecting them to play the way they played today.
Well, they'll be dropping back down to third place after because they're just about ready to lose to the Nuggets as we speak.
You can't. These guys are just not. There's no really. Is it pride? Because we already know they don't have pride. They don't really play with any pride. They don't play with any anger. They don't play with any. Man, we're getting. Look
They're
at how
just not good enough. They're too small, and they're not good enough.
But I think the effort is what bothers me. It's the effort that they're not at least doing some kind of. You're watching the Spurs, and we know that they have a couple of good, talented players, but you could see them playing the offense. You could see them run the offense. You could see them
continuity. They have
making that extra pass.
They've played together for 5 years. Everybody on that team has, and they have the same coach and so forth. And we have a brand new squad every year.
Okay, I'll definitely buy that then. Okay, then at this point,
and then it's also the talent level. We put all of our money and talent into 3 guys, and none into the other people. And so you're it's like going to the gym and the other guy, and you say, I got next, and they says, great, I'll pick these 4 guys and you get your next 5 guys.
I think what killed us,
you end up with a lousy team, and then you have no chance of holding.
I just want to remind our viewers and listeners that these are things that I discussed during the course of the season as we were getting into it, that I had said that now LakerTom months later is now connecting with me on. I just want to make sure that
what birthed this. It was such an innocent thing during last year, but it was a very.
And I was hoping I was going to be wrong.
It was a very consistent thing that they did, where there was this 3 to 4 minute gap in every game where they didn't score. Had they not had that so much, I believe they would have ran it back. And that was what killed us, because what they did was they overcorrected. They go, okay, we got to bring offense in. We got to get Nunn in here, which they didn't expect him to turn into Greg Oden this year. Then you have Monk, who could score, who's athletic.
Can't play defense.
But that's what they did, right? They overcorrected. They got all the offensive guys, got Melo.
They saw their faults in the championship bubble. team, and they saw what they needed to do. They realized that once everybody was healthy again, and we weren't in COVID, although they didn't.
But I also think I again, this is it's mind-boggling, man. Did you in a million years think Russell Westbrook would be this bad?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I didn't.
Yes.
You couldn't expect
Missing layups?
You couldn't really expect it, you know.
Yes.
Missing
I was
layup?
on the air saying that. Yes. 100 times yes. Sorry.
Well, you know, I heard that same. Listen, the same people, maybe not you specifically, Gerald, but all of the same people were saying the same BS about Chris Paul 2 years ago.
Well, NBA pundits, though,
I remember when I was trying to get people to rally behind the idea of Chris Paul coming to the Lakers, and how vicious the attacks were.
Well, LakerTom, but you and I were arguing about this in September, and I was telling you about.
You couldn't predict that he would play this badly, that he would be this bad.
I did. I said it on the air. Go check the
more
archives.
Chris Paul,
yes, I did. It's in the archives.
The more Chris Paul plays well,
I saw him in the bubble. He was horrible in the bubble, and that's what I was expecting.
In the bubble is not a good judgment. We made all sorts of decisions to change the nature of our team because we realized that the bubble is not the normal season.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
But they were playing well.
They were basing it off of.
Tom, they were playing well before the bubble. They were coming into their own. I can't. That year up until COVID stopped them. I remember it distinctively.
I remember that big weekend when we swept both of those teams.
Right. Now, before then, like a month before, because they were starting to beat some other some quality teams, and then they beat the top teams, right? So before then, at least they may have lost to the good teams, but for me, it was like, okay, they're getting their stuff together. It's the first time they're together. They're getting their mojo together. But what they were at least doing was winning the games they were supposed to. And when you win the games you're supposed to, and you lose the close games to the good teams, it at least makes sense. Okay? They lost a little more than I would prefer them to do, but they ended up starting to win towards that February, March. Mm-hmm. And then, they never got a chance to
finish. That's all ancient history now, man.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, any NBA pundit was telling that everybody out there, like me, that it was a mistake getting Russell Westbrook because we realized it was a bad fit. His style of play is bad for our team. And the fact is, he is not the Russell Westbrook of 3-4 years ago. People have got to come to grips with that. He is just not the
even
player
the Russell Westbrook of last year. That's the bigger problem.
Or half of last year. The first half, this was what he was. He was really awful in the first half of last year. It was only in the second half of the season that he actually came to start playing at an acceptable level. So that's what the Lakers saw. Unfortunately, I saw the same Westbrook as far as what we saw in the bubble, as far as the flaws in his game and being such a poor fit for the team.
I know, but you expected that, number one, you wouldn't have a guy who would understand that he has to try to change some things in his game because there's going to be two other superstars. And he hasn't done that. He's been defiant.
How many years has he been in the league? You know what to say about an old dog?
I know, but I mean, he's refusing to work with coaches and certain things and things like that. That's unacceptable. And then secondly,
we're just,
you guys refusing.
It's been a bad situation, but Russ has made it a lot worse in the way that he's reacted to it, in his refusal to accommodate any adjustments to how he's playing his game, and in his whole interpretation of how everything is. I think LeBron is done with it, and AD is done with it. The team is done with it. Everybody knows that they're not going to bring him back. I mean, I even heard two people talking today on a podcast, Lakers Nation podcast, and
I'm sorry.
There are two reasons for Russell Westbrook. They think that they're going to, number one, they could possibly waive him, stretch him.
No. No.
And the reason to do that is to incentivize LeBron James to sign a 2-year contract by saying, this is what we're willing to do just to get rid of the problem. Okay.
That would be we're still paying for Luol Deng.
Number two,
please, for the love of God,
John Wall trade.
This is why you should not listen to the Lakers Nation podcast, because they come up with some pretty dumb
Laker
ideas.
Nation podcast. I have to see them.
Those are both two very. I mean, the whole point being that I think that we'll be able to trade him because he's an expiring contract, and there are a lot of people that like to get rid of $47 million.
Stretch out $47 million. Good God, man!
But, the truth of the matter is that the Lakers will do whatever they have to do to get rid of him, even including trading him for John Wall or waiving and stretching him.
I would trade him for John Wall.
That's just.
You cannot stretch him because
absolutely not. It's not Luol Deng.
It's 3 times Luol Deng.
That disaster was
sucking up your cap each and every year.
Yeah,
Luol Deng screwed up so many trades that I proposed.
Now, if you were able to go on the Bobby Bonilla plan, where it's like 25 or 30 years at like $1 or $2 million a year, that's okay. We can talk about that. But this is a normal stretch of like say 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years. That's you suck up what?
No,
5,
it's only 3 years,
6,
Gerald. It's just three times the number of years left on the contract.
Okay, well, 3 years of it. That's still 12.
Yeah, but they'll buy him out.
15,
they'll buy him out for he'll be
million.
able to make $6,000 minimum as a veteran.
$15 million on your cap.
So he'll give up $6 million, and then we'll settle him for $40 million. It'll only be like $13 million hit every year.
Why would he want to go ahead and settle? If you're going to stretch and waive him anyways, that's ridiculous. Do not stretch. Absolutely
no.
Dumbest idea.
Let the beautiful thing about
I wouldn't stretch him either. I think that's crazy.
That was good. That was funny though. It was funny.
It was more an example by
I'm not laughing.
It was more an example by the podcast.
It was a crying laugh
to say this is how bad it's become. This is how bad.
That's a laugh you got to go. If somebody suggests that, you got to go walk up to
Russell Westbrook.
What are you thinking, man?
Yeah, this user. No, it's
That's more than the taxpayers mid-level.
You came up
the regular
craps.
mid-level.
You came up craps. Okay, we came up craps. We lost. It's over. This thing.
But unfortunately, the last year of even a crappy contract is worth a lot of money to certain teams.
Yes, that's why you got to. Yeah, don't.
We'll be able to trade it. We'll be able to trade them. It'll be I'd love to trade him for Heel. I'd love to trade him for Heel.
Listen to the Lakers Nation podcast.
Yeah, the Laker Nation thing.
I forbid you, young man, to listen to the Lakers Nation podcast.
Every time I'm on Game Time on Lakers ball, and Lakers Nation always it pops up on the right side of the screen, and it's nothing but. I feel like I'm looking at.
That's what happens when you listen to an inferior podcast.
Good stuff there.
It's always something nice. Like they'll make one layup. Yay! It's nice, and yay! We got 2 points. And
all right,
Frank, how about we go get this guy?
It doesn't make any sense. They're just people trying to make a living doing what they love doing.
God bless them.
Well, I would like to make a living at what we're doing, what we're loving.
God bless them.
Yes, yeah. Well, I would like to be in their food chain.
So let's talk about winning time.
Yes, well, we got a better show than they do, that's for sure.
Let's talk about winning time.
It's a real podcast, a real Lakers podcast. It is the Lakers Fast Break. Once again, the Lakers unfortunately did fall to the San Antonio Spurs. There you go, RVD, Rob Van Dam, 117 to 110.
Double G knows everything, man. I swear, you are the Renaissance man, my friend.
Well, I'm trying my best to beat the Lakers Nation podcast, that's for sure. But 117 to 110 over the San Antonio Spurs over the Los Angeles Lakers. Before we head on out, I want to go ahead and mention that the Lakers are now, unfortunately, 28-36. They're only one game up again on New Orleans in 9th place in the Western Conference. They do play on Wednesday, so I want to make sure everybody knows the next game for the Lakers is Wednesday night. I believe it's another 5:30 start time. It is a 5 o'clock start time. Yes, 5 o'clock start time right here. It's going to be on the Lakers channel, the Spectrum and all that. That's great stuff right there for you. But before we head on out, guys, HBO Max and HBO debuted Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. To everybody, let everybody know out there, the new episodes of Winning Time, based off the Lakers dynasty of the 1980s, based off of the book Showtime, who I interviewed the author of. Jeff Pearlman on an episode last week. So please check out my interview with Jeff Pearlman. You can also get his book, Showtime, and his second Lakers book, 3 Ring Circus, based off the Kobe Shaq years. Both of them are available today wherever you get your books. Great book. And they did take some liberties, I will say, as far as changing a couple things around and adding some things in there as far as in the first episode. It is, just like I said, just a great thing for Lakers fans to go ahead and check this out. I will tell you that it's just, my gosh, the Adam McKay, who everybody seems to know from the Don't Look Up movie that's right now nominated for an Oscar, everything that's going on. Obviously, he's got a long list of movies that have everybody have come to appreciate it. I see on the IMDb that Jonah Hill will also be directing an episode upcoming in this series, so I'm looking forward to that. But the series overall started off with the episode in just as the Lakers were changing over ownership from Jack Kent Cooke to Dr. Jerry Buss. It's told primarily from the eyes of Dr. Jerry Buss and Magic Johnson, who was contemplating whether or not he wanted to go ahead and turn pro and become the number 1 draft pick of the Los Angeles Lakers. So it tells that story. Again, some creative liberties were taken. And I
What liberties?
Well, funny you should ask that, Tom. But if you want to go and check out, there's an article that I posted on the Lakers Fast Break channel on Facebook that tells you all the specific details, one of which was a showdown between Norm Nixon, who is played by his son. Yeah, absolutely, in this. So, and actually, I think he was one of the best parts of this episode. I thought he was really good at what he was doing, obviously that from his father's influence and whatnot. But yes, he did have in the show, an episode, a one-on-one matchup against Magic before Magic was thinking about committing or not committing to becoming a Los Angeles Laker. And it was funny because they had the showdown and he got totally owned by Norm Nixon to show, hey, you're not an NBA player yet. You're too tall, et cetera, et cetera. That it was done at a party at Donald Sterling's house.
Mm-hmm.
I love the comment that was made in regards to Donald Sterling.
The second word.
But I want, again, that's political. Don't want to get into that. But
no, it's not. It's not. It's funny.
It was funny. It was funny. But Adam McKay is out there again,
and it's not true, by the way. Come on, Donald Sterling is worse. Come on.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Actually, they're probably the same.
Adam McKay, I will say he has a very upfront, in-your-face style as far as the blatant, examples of racism. He made sure that some decisions that were made or some things that were said were because of racism. Just some of the language, just some of the things that were said in context within the course. He lets you know about the times, the era that it was in the 1970s. So I will say that, again, for me, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I think that the Isaiah actor that's playing Magic Johnson in this flick, he has done a solid job. Quincy Isaiah. I wish he was a little bit more charismatic, a little bit more energetic, bring a little bit more energy to the role. But otherwise, I thought he did all right. Jason Clark is a very, very angry Jerry West, and I will just leave it at that. It's so funny. I wonder what Jerry West thinks about. I wonder what Jerry West thinks about an Australian.
I hope he was like that. I really do.
Yeah, but it's so funny because it was good because he was throwing F-bombs left and right. John C. Reilly, I think, did a great job on the episode.
John C. Reilly was terrific.
God, he was so good.
Absolutely.
He was.
Yes. I really thought it was.
I loved them talking directly to the audience too, just chiming us in on everything that was happening. That was
Devon
a great
Nixon,
move that McKay
did a great job. Gabby Hoffman, who plays Claire Rothman, a senior official for the Los Angeles Lakers behind the scenes and part of this transition, and she will play a major role in the series for this season. I just want to let everybody know on that from what I'm seeing.
Great too. It's great to see what an avarice little thing Jeannie was wanting to get into the business early.
Well, the thing is, she is someone that is part of Lakers lore and Lakers history that very few of us Lakers fans actually research and investigate. So I really think that she did a great job on that. But I will say overall, I was pleasantly pleased. I was pleased by the episode. I thought it was pretty good. Joe, you had some tremendous things to say. So before I get to LakerTom on his thoughts on Winning Time Episode 1, what are your thoughts? Again, you already said it through the email and whatnot, but I really had a feeling you really liked Episode 1 of Winning Time.
Yeah, I did. John C. Reilly. Hollywood is going through
All apologies to Will Ferrell because I know he wanted this role, and I know him and Adam McKay.
No way.
John C. Reilly was really
John C. Reilly was the guy.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, Hollywood is going through I don't know if it happened years ago. It might have, but I have never seen it in my lifetime. But there is a massive drought for a lot of these guys, the staples of the century. John C. Reilly and I was Idris Elba doing a bookings.com commercial. I'm going, what the hell is going on here? There's these guys' agents? I don't know if it's COVID or what, but I heard that John C. Reilly had nothing going on up until he got cast for this role.
That's what he said.
Right?
Yeah.
So he killed it. Absolutely loved him. Whoever did the makeup, they have to win an Emmy. Their makeup, they're getting Norm Nixon's son. I didn't know it was his son until he was wearing the mink coat and he was challenging Magic. I'm sitting there and I'm going, man, this guy looks like Norm Nixon. Like, I didn't know.
It's to his first wife. It's not Debbie Allen,
right?
Who people know from Fame. It's to his first wife.
So I'm looking at Quincy Isaiah, and he's got the same, like, right here. It's the same.
I just wish a little bit more energy. I know it's his first real big gig, and as far as a real big acting gig here, I would just ask him to just provide a little bit more energy to that.
Again, it's
a tough role. It's a tough role.
It's absolutely a tough role because if you're going to find someone out there if you're going to really try to find people that look like them.
And they had a hard time finding a Magic Johnson.
They did, yeah. And
play basketball too. I mean, that's the hard part.
Right. I mean, you get those 7 billion in the world. I know that there's a chance, but it's still hard. And
that interview after the end of the show.
The star of the show, though, was Jerry West, man. I mean, that was
Jason Clark.
Jerry West.
That was so good. The angry Jerry West. It was like,
and again,
angry Jerry
throwing his MVP trophy out the window.
I know.
Dr. Buss. I mean, I had heard Dr. Buss and Jerry West. Dr. Buss just had the temperament to deal with certain characters.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why when Shaq told him to F and pay me back in, what was it, 03, he took it as, okay. He didn't get offended. He didn't get all weird. He basically told Shaq the following year, hey, big man, I got Kobe, man. I gotta go with him first. He's the youngest guy. Either you take 20 million or you gotta go. And Shaq said, I gotta go. And that's what made Dr. Buss. That's why he, in my opinion, is the greatest.
Now there was some
ever.
truthful. I mean, actually, Alan, please go ahead. Alan wants to speak out on a question. Please go ahead. Give us a shout out, Alan. What kind of question you have? Just let us know. We're always here for you. Appreciate it. Also at Lakers Fast Break and LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. You can always send us a question there. But yeah, just send us a question here in the chat anytime you want. I wanted to mention, though, while Alan's typing up that question right now, wanted to go ahead and mention that there was some truthful, very, very important and informational things as far as how much Jerry Buss had to pay and what he paid with as far as land and how he had to borrow money at the last minute.
67 million.
Yeah,
wow,
exactly. Exactly. So, and what was also constituted. I mean, obviously Jack Kent Cook made a killing as far as the land is concerned if he held on to it, or his estate held on to it as far as down the road, because the land in return is probably obviously very valuable as well. Alan's stopped by. Alan Netness is saying, great show. I want to hear your thoughts on who is going to make it out of the East. I know it's not a Laker question, but I am curious as to what you guys think. We will go ahead and answer that for you, Alan, here in just a sec. But before we do, I just want to mention LakerTom. I know you have some thoughts on it as well, but then I want to get to Alan's question before we head on out.
I love the show. I thought it was terrific. I
can't wait for episode 2.
Yeah, I can't either. I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm probably one of the very last people to watch episodic television. I basically watch sports and movies. And then recently, as you know, I had a shoulder replacement, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there, stuck on the couch, not being able to really, do anything. And so I started watching a bunch of different shows. I watched the Jack Reacher show and a couple of others, and now they've got me hooked on 2 or 3 different things, so it's kind of interesting. This is the first time I've done anything that wasn't binging it.
Yeah.
It's kind of disappointing to have to stop after just the first episode. I'm used to at least going through one full novel, one full season.
This is a non-Netflix streaming channel that's just spreading out the content that doesn't have the amount of content.
So does it happen every week at the same time now?
Yes.
Or
Yes. And I want to mention
every
again,
Sunday?
every Sunday, 6 p.m.
o'clock?
Pacific,
Okay.
9 p.m. Eastern. 6
See,
p.m.
I hate
Pacific,
that. I
9
hate
p.m.
that.
Eastern.
They're just trying to hook me into it. I know they're doing it.
Well, that's when it's there.
I'll only
HBO
do it
airs
for
at
the
that time.
Lakers. I'll only
HBO
do it
Max
for the
will have
Lakers.
it there as well. But yeah, from there on it'll be in the HBO
No, I
Max.
thought the show was terrific.
library.
I'm really looking forward to. I can't wait to see some of the other characters that I'm looking forward to seeing appear in the show.
Riley and also as well the character I'm interested in seeing, Paul Westhead. They're both coming up on this next episode. So looking forward to that. Well, I'll tell you what, though, it is something that we're really happy about seeing, and we want to see more episodes. Again, we all three of us have positive reviews of Winning Time on HBO and HBO Max. It airs again, starts to air 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern every Sunday for Winning Time. It's 10 episodes in all, so just to let everybody know, so it's 10 weeks. I do want to mention also as well that after that, it'll be on HBO Max whenever you need it and watch it. But before we head on out, I do want to mention Alan's question, and that once again, that is, he wants to know our thoughts on who's going to make it out of the East. Before I hit mine up, I want to go ahead and hit Joe first. Joe, before we head on out, who is your pick right now? It's a really big dogfight. I actually love what's going on in the East as far as all these teams from 1 to 7 seemingly have a chance to take it out as far as being the number one team in the East.
I'm going to stick with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Solid choice, especially because they're getting Lopez back.
If Middleton continues to be the best number 2 guy in the NBA, yeah. If your number 2 guy's dropping 40, then you factor in playoff pressure, playoff experience. They already won. They have all the makings of a team that is going to come through in the end in the pressure situation. Now, there's a lot of guys talking about Philly because James Harden's playing well, but until James Harden can win a meaningful playoff game in his career, I'm not going to pick them. Who else? Atlanta, Miami. I think Kyle Lowry is going to have to become Kyle Lowry of 2019.
Do you think Brooklyn can repair itself at a point where no? Okay.
No, Brooklyn is going to flame out.
Both guys are shaking their heads no.
No, Brooklyn's going to flame out. I'm not against what Kyrie's doing, but Kyrie is a detriment to team basketball. So it's one of those things where even when you're doing something right, you're in this situation, you've completely collapsed your team. And Durant, Durant has become a very ornery person since he's left Oklahoma City, and he's becoming more ornery. And there's a little bit of admiration there, especially with the way he was when they were picking the All-Stars during the All-Star game. There was this kind of sinister look about him that, like, you know, I don't know. I like people who are real, and a lot of times being real shows up. It shows up in a not so nice way, but sometimes it's entertaining, and I get a kick out of Durant's just orneryism. Yeah. And he can't do it alone. It's just not possible. I'm not expecting Seth Curry, and Ben Simmons is a quitter until, you know, and I don't really, as a basketball player, I really don't have any respect for him. He's a quitter. I don't see how he's going to make a difference after missing an entire season. How is that going to work?
Again, if it's not basing on his offensive performance, I mean, as a defensive individual, as someone who can guard 1 through 5, it could be right.
Playoff time. If you're telling me this would be the first time
he doesn't
ever.
need to score the ball when you've got Durant and Kyrie Irving.
If he's true to this, I have a mental illness thing, which I can debate that, you know, for another hour.
For Advil. So
yeah, no, again, and you know, you trivialize those who actually do have that. You know, you just admit that you can handle the Philadelphia media and you cowered out and quit. And then now you're going to Brooklyn, where everybody's saying, hey, Kyrie's going to be the offense and Durant's going to be the offense. That's not the point. Point is you're a quitter. The second you get burned on a play in game 7, let's say, are you going to go mope? Probably. He's a moper, and he's been like that. The guy didn't even make the playoffs the one year he was at LSU, and I was telling everybody, I'm like, guys, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign for a guy with this kind of freakish, skill set. He's not mentally there, and it doesn't look like he ever will be. I mean, he'll be good, but I have no faith in him whatsoever. I'm picking Milwaukee to come out the East, and there's a couple of wild cards in there. If they, everybody stays healthy or can, make a run. But
let me get Tom in here.
I'm picking Milwaukee to get out the East, and I think in the West, it's more of a crapshoot.
Yeah. Well, again, we'll talk about the West coming up here on a future episode. But
I want to talk about it now.
No, because Alan just wanted to know about the East. We'll talk about the West on save it for another episode, okay? Because we're already almost an hour in. But before we head on out, LakerTom, great question by Alan, and we thank him so much for dropping it on our Facebook chat. But before we head on out, please go ahead and let us know your thoughts on East.
I'd like to say the Miami Heat are going to prove that their appearance in the
very under the radar. Miami's getting it done. They're leading the East right now.
But unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with the Milwaukee Bucks.
I mean, that's not a stretch. I mean, that's a very solid choice. Yeah, even though Boston's got a lot of momentum right now, Chicago has lost a lot of that early season momentum. They've lost 5 in a row.
Pretenders.
Yeah. Right now, all I'm going to leave you with this is that I think, again, right now it's Milwaukee's to lose in the East because, as Joe said it, if Middleton is playing to the level he is capable of, it is very hard to beat Milwaukee with Jrue Holiday focusing on the defensive end. You've got Giannis Antetokounmpo doing what Giannis Antetokounmpo does.
How do you say that again?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis?
Or Giannis. You say Giannis?
Giannis. Are you growing a beard, Gerald?
Something like that.
I can't tell with your beautiful white hair sometimes.
Yeah, well, I wish it's my beautiful red hair, but that's many years ago. But before we head on out, guys, I will pick Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks, I think, as far as the team right now in the East. But watch out for Boston. Unfortunately, those guys over there, they're playing really good defense. They've really got a lot of momentum on their sides. Miami, obviously, is a team that's got a very loaded roster. It should not be underestimated. I think Chicago's been playing a little bit over their heads. Yeah, Chicago's been playing over their heads. Philadelphia, I said that Philadelphia getting Harden was a nice fit for me as far as from what I see, but, you can't trust Harden. Harden does not have a winning overall mentality in the playoffs. He's not been able to get it done, so we'll see what happens there. But again, Joel Embiid, he could take you a long way. So I don't underestimate what's going on in Philly. I think Cleveland just does not have enough offense. Toronto is does not have enough players, even though they've got a lot of outstanding wing players. I just don't think they have enough height. Charlotte is just not enough talent. And Brooklyn, again, even if they get all healthy and all right in the world and they're able to go ahead and get some clearances and the vaccine mandates are done. And
wouldn't it be great to see Brooklyn and the Lakers go through the play-in tournament, both teams, and meet in the finals?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Right now, again,
you mean on NBA 2K? Yeah,
I think if it was all healthy right now, all teams were healthy and everything was flowing right now, and they had played for a while together as a team, I think Brooklyn would probably be my pick. But right now, I'm going to say Milwaukee and Giannis Antetokounmpo. But we want to hear your thoughts.
My long shot picks are Brooklyn and the Lakers.
Yeah, well, there you go. Some long shots.
I predict
I'm here in Vegas, my friend. Go ahead, drop that bet.
Timberwolves and the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, there you go.
That's more of a likelihood than Brooklyn and LA.
Oh,
that's a long shot.
More likely? Well, I don't know about that. I mean,
sure.
That's another argument altogether. Indeed.
No. See, imagine the ratings on that, Tom. Did you imagine the ratings? Could you imagine the ratings on that? The Minnesota Timberwolves.
The ratings on the Lakers
and the Atlanta Hawks
would be out of this world. It would be like who wants to even play the regular season anymore?
They'd probably get beat out by. Well, actually, baseball's not going to come back anytime soon. But
both the odds are probably just as good that neither the Nets or the Lakers will make the playoffs.
Yeah. Because they'll probably get beat out by golf and NASCAR. they'll probably get beat out by golf and NASCAR if that's the case.
The play-in does not qualify as being in the playoff.
I agree.
All right, guys. But we're going to head on out. I do appreciate everyone for stopping by today, catching us wherever you get your podcasts, plus also as well on YouTube. Big shout out to our YouTube viewers. We've got a lot of great people that are watching each and every time out. Got a lot of people answering the great comments. Much love to you on Facebook also as well. Thank you so much to all the new Facebook Laker groups I joined up with. We truly appreciate you being part of the Lakers Fast Break experience. If you have any questions for me at Lakers Fast Break or LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. Also as well, check out LakerTom's articles today. His latest one is how moving Russell Westbrook to the bench could help the Lakers win games. You can go ahead and check out that article today at Lakerholics.com. Please be part of the conversation and check out his and Jamie Sweet's 5 Things articles today at Lakerholics.com. And of course, Ox 1947, it's Joe Soro. He's wreaking havoc during game time only at LakersBall.com. But once again, the Lakers without LeBron and without AD fall to the San Antonio Spurs 117-110. We will be back after the Wednesday night game. It's going to start once again at 5 p.m. Pacific. The Lakers, again, right now, still 9th place, only a game ahead of the New Orleans Pelicans. What will happen after Wednesday night? We'll talk about it right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast.